Good morning, guys. As I mentioned in other videos, I've struggled with getting fish through the whole quarantine process when it comes to doing this whole copper thing. I've been successful with tanks. I have not been successful with angelfish. I have not been successful with wrasses. I have actually been successful with anthias, but I would say it's about 50%. Like I have these anthias in here in the peninsula that you're about to see. I don't remember their name. I'll put it down. You'll see the little link of what they actually are. But I haven't been successful with sunburst anthias, the fathead ones. I haven't been successful with squareback anthias. So I've decided that I'm gonna give a try to these websites where they sell fish, pre-quarantine fish, like Marine Collectors, and there's various other ones. The one I'm ordered from about over a month ago, I ordered from TSM Aquatics. I'll leave the link below to them too. I will check them out. I ordered them and they told me that they were still in quarantine and they would notify me as soon as they're out of quarantine so that we can schedule the shipping. That was yesterday. I asked them to ship it that same night after they got out so that I could get them in today. And guess what I have here waiting right behind this door? So I'm gonna go ahead and open this with y'all here and we'll talk about what I got. So here is my shipping order. I'm very excited because I'm actually going to be popping and dropping into the tank. These fish are supposed to be pre-quarantine with medication and everything, not just observation, and should be ready to just go into the tank directly. These will be going directly into my peninsula here on the other side. So, look at this. I actually needed a mouse pad. Why not, right? I'm just excited, guys. I'm excited. All right, so looks like this box here is also taped up. Some heat pads, which are still very warm. It is a pyramid butterfly fish. Here's the second guy. It is another pyramid butterfly fish. Here's a third guy. Uh-oh. This one's trying to get out. So it is not doing well. Let's go ahead and put them in there. That one was a Labout's fairy wrasse. And here's the last guy, which is a third pyramid butterfly fish. So, I've been debating this for quite some time now, whether when I received them was I just going to truly pop them and drop them, or did I want to take one last precaution and do a freshwater dip in order for just to make absolute sure. And I think I am. I'm going to do a freshwater dip for 5 minutes or less, depending on how the fish are doing in there. So that's what I'm actually doing right now. This temperature of the water is at the 76 degrees, which is what that's set to. And I'm gonna put a bubbler in here to make sure there's enough oxygen in this water. And then I'm gonna put them in the tank and I'll take you through that process. So I have these. These are Penplax emergency air. I just pop it in here, turn it on. All right, start. Then I'm gonna dump this water out and reuse it to get the other fish. Here's this guy in here, they're swimming around. Then this guy is the one that was in the bag, you know, popping its head up. I'm not sure if it's trouble, you know, breathing or maybe the ammonia that collected in there. This is the same action it was doing whenever in the bag. So, oh, definitely want to be careful this guy doesn't jump out. He just tried jumping out. He was laying at the bottom like this because he is a bit stressed from this freshwater dip. I'm thinking I'm gonna call it and let him into the main tank. Okay, they're still right there swimming around. Tangs, if you've ever done this to a tang, they get on their sides and almost it looks like they're pretending like they're dead. I'm sure it's not pretending, I'm sure it's just they're very stressed out, but the point is you want to just continue looking to make sure that their gills are moving. And sometimes I would like to stir the bucket to get them to start swimming around still. And that a lot of times works. I've never had an issue with doing freshwater dips. Even though a lot of times they've shown a lot of stress, I'm pretty good at being able to do up to the 5 minutes. So these guys here have been up in here for 5 minutes already. Let me go ahead and move them over. Wasn't the nicest way of putting them in, but I actually went over by a minute and I wanted to make sure to just get them all out as soon as possible. I guess for now you can see here's one, there's the other two in that corner over there. Let's see if I can find the other rats. The other wrasse is inside that, on the bottom side of that rock there. Let me just make sure that he's still breathing. He sure is. He's breathing a little hard, but that's to be expected. A lot of times wrasses, as you know, like to hide, especially when being introduced into a new tank, because it is a stressful situation. They just got shipped from, I should know where they got shipped from, but they got shipped from a different state overnight in a bag that was, the temperature was a little colder, and so I had to get it to temperature. Then from there, they had to do the freshwater dip for 5 minutes, which as well puts on stress on them. And then I moved them over to this tank. And so let's see how they do. So they've been in this tank for about 30-45 minutes, and one of the fishes that I didn't think would be a problem is being a problem. If you can see that Antheus right there, he's the male. You can tell by the black spot on the top of his fins. He is not liking these guys at all, for whatever reason. I tap on the glass here and there to try to just maybe get them to stop. This one's eating the flake food that I put in there, so it's not actually going after them, but I put some flake food in there to try to distract them, and it worked. But now that it's mostly gone, here is this guy again. The other one that's presenting an issue is my fox face over there. I don't know if these guys with their fins up and pointy is making them think that there's some kind of threat. So he sort of flashes his fins and, you know, the poisonous points that they have at them. Let me see if I can show you from the other side. He's probably going to move, but if you can see him over there, he's now retracted because he sees me. But earlier when I wasn't recording, he literally was like, you know, signifying with his fins, you know, making them all spiky and everything. I don't know what you call it, but just letting them know. And when they would get close, he would just go and peck at their tail real quick to get them to move. Aside from that, so far the real threat right now is this Antheus. I'm hoping it is just temporary. See how he's going after them, and then eventually he'll leave them alone. But if they're going to be an issue, I'm willing to take these guys out and put them in a big tank with the other big fish that they're not going to be able to bully around. All right, guys, give me for you a short second, but towards the end of the day I'll do one more video, one more clip of how they're doing throughout the day, and I think we'll end this video then. Every time I pull out the camera, he hides. But you can kind of see the spikes on his head, how he's flashing that, and I almost feel like that's telling them, hey, I'm here, get away, or else. Look at him. Now, he hasn't gone aggressively after them, and I have seen that in the past where I had two of these fox face. One was one like this one, a yellow one, and the other one was a magnificent one, and they went at it big time. And I don't know, I mean, I guess I can understand why. Maybe both of them were males, and it's hard to tell which one's a female, which was a male. But I've seen in other tanks where people have two fox faces and they're perfectly fine. So I'm assuming they either got put in together or one ended up being a male and the other one a female, and that's why they get along. The time that I did, it was a disaster, and I ended up having to take out the yellow one because that one's the one that was getting beat on the most by the magnificent fox face. So here I think it's just establishing, hey, you know, I'm here. I'm hoping that's what it is. They're pecking at the flakes that are going around, which is really good. I haven't been able to notice whether they're spitting them back out or not. It doesn't appear to. So that's one thing about quarantining the companies that quarantine them, is they have to get them used to eating the food that they feed, which can be either pellet, frozen, or flakes. So then when you get them, they're already accustomed to that. They're already used to eating that type of food, and so not only now that you receive a fish that you can dump directly in your tank, but also they've already been conditioned to eat what you feed your other fish. Now the other, the wrasse that I put in here is still not, and this was just moments after I shot the other clip. It's not the end of the day. It's just I noticed he was flashing again and I wanted to show you. But the other wrasse that's in here, he's still right there. So the wrasse is still in there, but it's still heavily breathing. So I would say it's still very stressed, and it's gonna take a while, maybe a day or two for it to come out. I guess they're not diggers because it didn't go in the sand, which is what I was expecting. But it did go under a rock, and it's in there with its fins fully extended and breathing hard, and then you can see his eyeball like look back whenever I'm flashing the light in there. So I do have a splendid dotty back, and they are known to be a bit aggressive, but he's on the small side. You can see him right there. And that is the same crevice or hole, whatever you want to call it, that the, you can't see it in there. Let's see if I can. That's the same area where the wrasse is hiding at right now. Right under there, yeah, I could actually see it with my naked eye, but the camera's gonna be hard to pick up because of glass. All right, it's the afternoon now. So just about 2 hours later, 3 hours later since that moment, and look who has come out. This guy, I've seen him when they're flashing and showing their, their bright colors, and they look gorgeous. These guys are doing great. I haven't seen like aggression where they're actually, beating each other up or anything like that. So far so good. And that should do it for this video, guys.